What's up, guys? I wanted to make a video about the Synology NAS that I'm running. This is the DS1522 Plus. I've had it running since December of 2024, so we are about 7 months deep, and I gotta say, I love this thing. Now, I want you to ignore the mess on my desk because this is quite the setup, okay? But this thing has been such a good addition to my office. It's got 4 Ethernet ports here on the back. I just want to show you guys. Got USB, 2 fans, very simple to use. And I can't open this because I'm full of drives here, but you could just pop this open and replace the drive as you need to. But I want to show you guys on the computer why this is such a powerful storage device and why you might consider it. All right, so let's just talk a little bit about the interface. I want to show you guys why this thing is so badass and what pulled me over the edge is, you see, I've got a closet full of hard drives, and I'm going to show you guys some B-roll footage right over the top here. You guys can see how many drives I've collected over the years. This is not even all of them. I've got a few laying on my floor that are kind of dead. I just have to deal with them. But I've even worked for like a company that also had a library of drives. They literally had an entire wall of hard drives up on like an IKEA bookshelf. And we did like heavy editing and documentary style stuff. And we had TV shows, like professional TV shows that were on A&E and stuff like that. And they were storing everything in these drives on a bookshelf. And then one day the bookshelf collapsed and they all ended up on the floor, and a bunch of them didn't work anymore. And guess what? All that footage was completely gone forever for good. And you just better hope that the client never came back asking for any of it, because you'd be totally screwed. So I don't like the external hard drive method because it's just a little too risky for me. What pushed me over the edge was I was filling up these drives. I make a lot of video content, as you can tell, and they fill up very quickly. So if I buy a 5 terabyte drive, I'd fill it up. And then the next step, naturally, is you need to buy a 10 terabyte drive, because now you need to move the 5 into the 10, and now you have 5 to grow. And I do this because I always want access to my files. I need to be able to jump back and forth through time to grab little assets here and there. Maybe it's a thumbnail from something, or an audio file, or a special tool that I haven't used in a really long time. I need to be able to go back and grab that stuff whenever I need to. And I don't want to dig through all these hard drives trying to find the stuff. So when it came time to actually buying a new drive, I said, you know what, screw it. Let me get this, because what it does is it allows me to have 5 hard drives in a collective pool. Now, I've messed around in the past with Windows Home Server and different pooling services. There's different ways to do this. And I've spent probably 10 years messing around with that stuff. It came out in 2007. I had it for a really long time. And I eventually went back to the data hoarding on the externals. And now I'm in this solution because I've really done a lot of research on this to make sure that this is going to solve the problem that I have. Because what's stopping me from going back and trying to play around with like Drive Bender, or whatever the different platforms are that are out there, what made me buy this solution? And really what it comes down to is the all-in-one easy interface. I log into the thing. It shows me everything right here. We can see right now I've got a warning because I'm almost out of space. So I've used 11 terabytes out of 12. And you can see here my drives. I don't have the largest ones in here. I've got a 7, a 9, and a couple 2s. So I'm going to be swapping out those 2s momentarily. I need to, because I've only got a terabyte left. But the beauty of this system is that you can actually upgrade it as you work. So as you fill it up, you pull out a drive, you pop in a new one, and it will expand the pool. And that is really the best feature of this thing. And what I also like about it is you can actually you can introduce other pods to it. So like I can add an expansion pod, or whatever they call it, to this, and add another 5 drives, or add another, I think you could do 2 to 3 expansion modules on this. So if you really need a lot of storage. You can like put 15 drives into this thing technically, and you can run what I'm talking about. So it's super expandable. And don't get me wrong, they've got a ton of different models out there. There's different sizes. They have a version that has 1 drive. They have a version that has 2. They have one that does 4. I went with the 5 drive because it had a more powerful CPU in it, so it's a little faster. It had the expandability, so I can actually add in SSD drives, M2, so they're like super fast, and it doesn't count towards these 5 that I've got here. So I can actually add in another 2 drives that you can't even see. It also has extra ports on the back with Ethernet, so I can add in up to 3 other Ethernet jacks if I want to. And that's just good for like if you're sharing across a lot of different people, if you're all editing off the same thing, it's good for that. And it has the expansion for a 10 gig card. So I think it's like a $100 option. You pop in a 10 gig card, and then you've got like a super fast connection to this thing. And with the M2 drives, you really get a lot of fast storage very quickly. And you can pool it all together. So for the cost, for me, it was a good deal. I like it. The SSD thing is pretty cool. I am not using it yet, but I will be. And you can even assign a hot spare to this. So if you want a little bit of extra fault tolerance, you can add in a drive it's just going to sit there empty. And if a drive fails, it will automatically start rebuilding stuff. You can run all kinds of cool stuff with it. Plex server for movies and podcasting and all kinds of good stuff like that. They have a whole ton of packages that you can use. And overall, I would just say that this thing is super fast and it just makes storage easy. I don't have to think about it. I could just open it up and pull up my files. It's so easy. I have everything right here, and I could just literally jump around and, do what I got to do. Super, super simple. And I connect with NFS, mounts right to it. And yeah, the best part about it is that it is zero maintenance and there's zero headache with it. So even if you don't want to do the fancy Docker stuff, you don't have to. But if you just want something that's super easy to the point, definitely consider it. So if you're interested in learning any more about this, make sure you head to podcastpontifications.com, drop your name and email into the homepage. It's going to give you a PDF guide. It's going to show you all about monetizing your site, doing cool stuff like this. So if that sounds good, smash the like button. I'll catch you soon.